This video took me 2 weeks to make, and it's not because it's some cinematic masterpiece that requires hours of planning, scripting, and recording. It's simply because I don't have enough time to create what I enjoy doing. And that's the unfortunate reality 99% of us face. Some more, some less. Now, I wish I didn't have to work. Yeah, well, many of us feel that way too, right? But obviously, and unfortunately, for 99% of us, we'll have to work until we run out of energy to do our hobbies, until we run out of the energy that keeps us youthful and creative. And I just can't really settle with that either. But lately I've been thinking a lot about who I would be if I actually let go of my hobbies and just worked, living day to day on repeat in a system I had no part in creating, nor a choice in wanting to participate in. And that brings me here to you, a video where we just play Minecraft and talk. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. It doesn't cost you anything and you can always unsubscribe in the future. I hope you guys enjoy the video. So I'll be honest, man, I've always struggled with sleep. Since high school, working different jobs, I can never get enough hours of sleep. And it is actually all my fault. I want to do so much in a day. I just don't have enough time for my hobbies, my interests, and my mental health relies so much on that, you know? I am at my most peaceful, my happiest, filled with joy when I am doing something that I love doing. So I sacrifice sleep. How many of you guys do the same thing? You ever catch yourself scrolling through old photos of your drawings, hikes, or group pictures, maybe even playing some sports, and just kind of fall into an almost existential thought process that just brings you unbearable dread and a sort of weird sense of energy to just pick up a hobby again, only to just quickly cut that hopefulness by telling yourself, I just don't have enough time. I'm telling you, you are not alone. Life moves so fast. Work deadlines, family commitments, bills to pay, and all of a sudden the hobbies that once lit you up feel like a guilty luxury. It's pretty easy to push passion projects aside when responsibility is knocking at the door. But here's the thing, neglecting your hobbies doesn't make you a better adult. It honestly kind of makes you a hopeless husk. It often leaves you feeling drained, purposeless, and disconnected from parts of yourself that once brought pure joy. But we need at least just one hobby to keep us grounded. I mean, I'm really just trying to remind myself why carving out time for what you love isn't selfish. It's actually essential. I got so many hobbies, man. Probably the one I'm most consistent on is fitness. You know, just working out, lifting weights. I'm well disciplined when it comes to that, but I've actually started sacrificing some of that time too. I used to draw a lot and I want to keep doing that too. But man, to get started on that alone is a whole mental process. I don't know, I kind of like to have at least 3 hobbies, maybe 4. Perhaps you guys can relate, but those 3 hobbies would be something physical you enjoy doing, something where you can be creative, and something where you can expand your knowledge. The 4th one being having something to collect. I think they all bleed into each other, and it can tell a lot about yourself. One of the first few questions I actually like to ask when I meet someone is, what hobbies do you have? It's amazing seeing someone get automatically passionate when they begin to describe what they enjoy or like doing. And it really goes both ways. I enjoy talking about my interests. I lose track of time, and I almost get into this social trance when I'm discussing stuff that I like. But anyways, it just makes sense having those 3 or 4 hobbies in your life. Perhaps some of you guys only have one, so it might benefit hearing other perspectives on what other subjects you can get interested in. You know, the physical aspect of a hobby alone can benefit anyone trying to develop a certain skill or feature about themselves. If you're into fitness, man, that alone is a lifetime of goals and accomplishments that you can aim for. But here's the thing about that one too, and I've actually thought about this for a while. I often ask myself, what if I get injured? What if I can't move anymore? What am I gonna do then? It would definitely suck. I am the individual who will figure out a way to squat if my knees are broken, but in reality, what will you do? Personally, I will fall into art and reading, but for some of you out there that only have one hobby, what else will you do if you can't perform that said hobby anymore? I often think about that when someone's whole life revolves around the gym or a sport. Like, what if, man? Anyways, just a thought. But yeah, I think everyone should have a physical interest, a creative interest, a subject to keep learning and exploring, and something to collect. The collecting one is probably the easiest, but perhaps the most hard-hitting on your wallet. I used to collect Pokemon cards, and boy, those can get expensive. I like history, like the really boring stuff, man. I'll spit out random facts at get-togethers and just get some weird looks, but that's what fascinates me. For some, it can be Star Wars lore, comics, fantasy, you name it. All of these serve as a great distraction. Hobbies aren't just to pass the time. they create meaning. Whether you're sketching a sunset or learning a new instrument, you're sending a message to your brain telling yourself that I matter, my passions matter. And that sense of purpose fills you up with energy and infuses your days with fulfillment no paycheck ever can. When you engage in activities that spark joy, you're tapping into a deep well of motivation. Motivation that you will, sooner or later, recognize as an essential foundation to keep going. That meaning and fulfillment ripples out, improving your mood, your focus at work, and your overall sense of well-being, your happiness, your mental health, all of it. Most of us vaguely understand the benefits of hobbies and interests, but in a sense that's good because we aren't doubting ourselves whether or not what we are doing is worth it, or why we are doing these hobbies altogether. But what happens when you do begin to feel that way? When you feel like you just don't have enough time to get back into what you enjoy doing, or when something in your life happens and just shuts off your spark. Take it from me, man. Do not isolate yourself from your interests for too long. It just adds to whatever you may be going through. The sun doesn't seem bright, food isn't as good anymore, and sometimes you don't feel like you have a reason to wake up. It's amazing how a simple activity, a comic book, or movie distracts you from whatever you might be going through, even if it's for a small amount of time. That's kind of the feeling I get when I play Minecraft. I just get lost. I get so relaxed when I'm just mining away. I kind of want you to think about the last time you drew or painted something, wrote a poem, or laid your hands down on a piano. Creating art, poetry, music, anything, these are acts of self-expression that remind you who you really are. And they really serve as a release valve for all the pent-up thoughts and emotions swirling around in your head. You know, I actually realized this about myself not too long ago, but I draw fairly well, right? It's one of my talents, I guess you could say. But I was telling someone that I am actually at my angriest when I am creating art. I am running through so many scenarios, memories, confrontations, and just overall negativity. You'd be surprised my art doesn't look like something out of a Scorn game, but that's just the thing. It's an amazing outlet for me. In Minecraft, I'm always exploring different thoughts and ideas, and when it comes to lifting, I'm actually at my happiest. Always pumped and energized, coming up with new plans and whatnot, but that's just what I'm trying to say. Being locked up in an office or having to look at a screen for hours does not let you experience. So you have to find ways that allows you to do that, and find ways to release whatever might be bothering you. The act of turning an internal idea into something tangible is pure magic. It really is more than just a distraction. It's a way to process feelings, tell your story, and to connect to something bigger than yourself. I mean, I could really just be thinking about it too much, but even if your canvas is a piece of printing paper or an area in Minecraft, you're still using your creativity, and that matters more than you know. Maybe you collect records or vintage postcards, action figures, or Pokemon cards like me. There's a sentimental thrill in finding that next piece to your collection. I think it's like an echo of your past, of a memory, your childhood. I carry my childhood with me a lot, man. It's probably why I am who I am. Each item carries emotional weight. I am a kid at heart, and I believe more people should be. And I'm not ashamed of it either. I'll tell you what, my weightlifting belt, right? I have a good amount of patches on it. It has that material that denim kind of has, and I always get compliments on it. I have a Transformers logo, Mortal Kombat, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Marvel, and some Minecraft health hearts, and it actually looks pretty cool, man. I wear it with pride. Nostalgia really is that bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Revisiting those sentimental treasures can recharge your spirit and spark new ideas. Letting your hobbies connect with a memory is a beautiful way to honor where you've been while growing into someone new. Don't let go of your childhood. I mean, if you made it this far into the video, I know you still have a bit of child in you. You're listening to a grown-ass man while watching him play Minecraft. So yeah, subscribe for more. But not all hobbies are wrist deep in paint. Some get your heart racing: fitness, hiking, trail running, or yoga. Physical hobbies aren't only about, sculpting abs. They're about testing your limits and reminding you that your body is capable of incredible things. Tracking your progress, whether it's a new personal best on squats or a longer hike without stopping, gives you tangible proof of your growth. Taking a class, joining a book club, or hitting some sort of a group workshop does wonders for both your skill set and your soul. Social hobbies are definitely going to improve your connections and banish isolation, man. Something that is especially important for mental health. A shared passion for cooking, Pottery, or D&D, that's something that a lot of my friends are trying to get me into, creates friendships that nourish you long after the hobby ends. You learn from others, crack jokes, laugh together, and support each other's creative highs and lows. Heck, even a weekly Minecraft session with a couple friends over video chat can become a highlight of your week. I really don't play multiplayer games anymore. To me, they're just not as fun when I don't have friends online, and just like me, most of my friends are pretty busy. But when it happens, man, it is such a blast. Sometimes these social threads form some sort of a safety net that catches you when life is really just weighing you down and you just need a little bit of a distraction. Video games can often get a bad rap, but in reality, they're powerful tools for relaxation, social bonding, and maybe even creative problem solving. You know, this is a Minecraft channel, so I'll use Minecraft as an example. It's more than just blocks, right? It's a sandbox universe where you can learn architecture, resource management, teamwork, and even basic coding through redstone. I mean, people go insane with Minecraft. Have you seen how intense the modding community has gotten over the past year or so? But dude, I digress, but if you show the current stage of Minecraft now to someone who hasn't played it since like 2014, they'll think it's AI generated. I mean, you know, go out and touch some grass, but come back and get lost in the world of Minecraft, dude. Huge thanks to the modding community. You guys have made this game into something wonderful. Escaping into this game after a tough day can clear your mind. Moderation is key, but in small doses, gaming can be just the mental health cure you need. If your schedule's packed, you don't need 3-hour art marathons. You know, just open up a sketchbook, start drawing a little bit, see how long that takes you. Maybe write a little bit in a journal. Keep your passions alive. Set a weekly time block for your hobby, just like any other appointment, and stick to it. Maybe try batching your hobby times. You know, maybe Sunday morning run coupled with learning something. Maybe combine cardio and listen to a podcast, or draw and listen to a podcast. Build routines, use calendar reminders. We have a whole bunch of apps now, a whole bunch of habit tracking apps, or find accountability partners to stay on track. A little effort goes a long way in trying to keep the joy that your hobbies bring. You might feel guilty carving out hobby time when there are chores or work to do, but consider this: neglecting what brings you joy leads to burnout, resentment, and emptiness. Hobbies are self-care, not selfishness. It refuels your energy so you can be more present in other areas in life. You know, I'll probably make another video on this specific topic, but don't try to fall into the common trend of being hyper-productive. Sometimes you just need to come home and relax, read a book, draw, play Minecraft. Just waste some time, but enjoy it. Treat your creative pursuits as investments in your well-being. When you're happier, more fulfilled, and more mentally balanced, everyone around you is going to benefit too. From coworkers to family members, let go of guilt and embrace the truth. Making time for hobbies is the secret ingredient to a richer, more vibrant life. And if you're trying to pick up a new hobby, give yourself permission to start small and being imperfect. The first few steps may feel rusty, but the emotions will flood in. And also, that nostalgic spark often reignites a deeper passion, unlocking new levels of creativity and reminding you of the person who you always want to be. So at its core, a hobby is purposeful play. It's not wasting time if you enjoy how you're wasting your time. It reminds you that life isn't only about obligations. It's also about exploration, wonder, and self-expression. And most importantly, hobbies anchor you down to being your most fundamental self, and they distract you from what may otherwise be a bland reality, or worse. So next time you think, I just don't have enough time, remember, investing in your passions is not optional. It's essential. Carve out those moments of play, because in the end, happiness is not going to be found in the grind, in working, in big paychecks. It's found in the joy of doing what you love. Hey, really quick guys, I would like to apologize for taking extra time to release this video. I have a bunch of moving parts in my life right now, but coming back and making these videos brings me so much happiness and peace. So even though I may take a little bit longer sometimes, I'll be back. Thank you guys.